Pierce Brosnan, the man the world adored as James Bond, has lived a life far more complex than the glamorous spy roles he portrayed. Behind his polished Hollywood smile lies a hidden story of struggle, betrayal, and survival that most fans never hear. Born in Ireland and abandoned by his father, raised by relatives while his mother worked abroad, Pierce grew up with loneliness as his constant shadow. Those early scars shaped him, leaving him with the quiet resilience that would one day define his career. When he finally found love with actress Cassandra Harris, it seemed as if happiness had finally entered his world. But tragedy struck when cancer claimed her life, leaving Pierce devastated and forced to raise their children while still trying to balance a demanding Hollywood career. The loss cut him deeply, yet it also gave him a fierce determination to hold his family together, even as the industry he worked in showed little mercy for his grief. Hollywood welcomed him with open arms when he first stepped into the tuxedo of James Bond, and for millions around the globe, he was the very definition of 007. But behind the scenes, producers fought to control his image, pigeonholing him as nothing more than a suave action hero. Doors to more serious roles were slammed shut, and whispers circulated that Brosnan was replaceable, even at the height of his fame. He wasn't just acting in films. He was battling for his artistic identity. While audiences celebrated his glamorous premieres and red carpet appearances, Pierce was waging silent wars. Studio executives questioned his worth, casting agents doubted his range, and tabloids began circling his private life. Yet through it all, he carried himself with dignity, refusing to let others dictate who he could or couldn't be. For him, every rejection and every doubt became fuel to prove that he was more than just Hollywood's tuxedo-clad fantasy. Then came another devastating blow. His daughter was taken by the same disease that had claimed Cassandra years earlier. To lose a wife and later a child in such cruelly similar ways could have destroyed anyone. But Brosnan transformed his grief into strength. He poured himself into his craft, bringing a raw, haunted depth to roles in films like The Matador and The Ghost Rider. Critics who once dismissed him began to acknowledge his courage and versatility. Still, the pressure never truly left. The tabloids relentlessly criticized his looks, his age, even his marriage to Keely Shea Smith. In a world where loyalty is rare and image is everything, Pierce chose love over Hollywood standards. He ignored the mockery, refused to play their game, and stood proudly by his wife, turning their marriage into a symbol of resilience. It was another act of quiet rebellion against an industry built on superficial perfection. His hidden war with Hollywood was not fought with fists or guns, but with endurance, patience, and unshakable willpower. For every whisper that he was finished, Brosnan answered with performances that silenced critics. For every attempt to box him into one role, he reinvented himself. The very industry that once tried to limit him now grudgingly respects him as one of its survivors, an artist who has weathered storms that destroy most careers. Today, while many of his contemporaries have faded into obscurity, Pierce Brosnan remains a symbol of timeless charm and perseverance. His story is not only about fame but about survival, about the sacrifices made for art, and the courage to keep going when the world tells you to stop. Perhaps that is why, even decades after his debut as Bond, audiences still lean forward when his name is mentioned. They know that behind the tuxedo and the smile lies a man who has fought silent battles and emerged stronger. A living reminder that true legends are not manufactured by Hollywood, but forged in wars no one else can see.